Alabama football is always loading up on the recruiting trail, and Nick Saban is the GOAT of recruiting. The 2021 class was historic for the Crimson Tide, and the 2022 class is also elite and has a ton of players who are likely going to hear their names called in the NFL draft someday. In today's video, I thought I'd introduce you to Alabama's 2022 recruiting class. We're going to go through each guy who is signed, we're going to break it down by position group, and I'm going to give my thoughts on guys who could be an impact from day one, guys I really like, and guys I'm somewhat skeptical of. But before we can talk about that, quickly be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button for the algorithm, and turn on post notifications so you never miss when I upload. Now, let's talk about Alabama's 2022 recruiting class. Let's first start with the quarterback room. We all know that Bryce Young, a Heisman winner, is coming back in 2022 and will likely be a first-round pick in the 23 draft, but this guy is the future of the Alabama dynasty. While Milroe is currently the backup quarterback for the Tide, Ty Simpson is the next big thing. Coming out of Westview High School in Martin, Tennessee, Simpson has been seen as a generational quarterback for quite a long time, and Tennessee fans really wish they could get a hand on him. Unfortunately, they could not. His recruitment would come down to all the big schools. Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama would all make him a priority, and eventually he was forced to choose between the Tigers and the Tide. He would end up going with Alabama, and this led Cade Klubnik to go to Clemson. I'm excited for that rivalry, but Ty Simpson, in my opinion, is someone who's going to be the starter in 2024 and could be one of the best Bama quarterbacks ever. 24/7 Sports agrees. According to them, he's a 5-star, the number 3 quarterback, and the 26th best player nationally. I'm excited for Simpson. Alabama has a unique running back room going into 2022. They'll lose Brian Robinson to the NFL, but they grabbed what, in my opinion, is the best transfer running back available in Georgia Tech's Jahmyr Gibbs, and guys like Jace McClellan and Roydell Williams will also get an opportunity to play. They also brought in 2 freshmen who could honestly see the field pretty quickly. The first one is Emmanuel Henderson. According to 24/7 Sports, he's the second best running back in this class, and the 6'1", 200-pound running back comes from Geneva County High School in Alabama. He is a home state product and someone who has the makings to become an Alabama star in the future. The other guy is from Texas. His name is Jamarian Miller, and according to 24/7 Sports, he's the number 6 running back and the 87th best player nationally, and he is also someone who I think will make a high-level impact in the future. Next up, we're going to talk about the playmakers at both wide receiver and tight end, and there are 7 of them. The first one I want to highlight is Shaz Preston. Coming out of St. James High School in Louisiana, Preston has been a guy who has blown up over the last few months and at one point was a 5-star recruit. 24/7 Sports does list him as the number 8 receiver in the nation, and the 6-foot playmaker will be my favorite freshman receiver for the Tide and someone who can maybe see the field right away. The second guy I want to talk about is Kobe Prentice. He's a home state kid as he went to Calera High School in Alabama, and according to 24/7 Sports is the 12th best receiver in the nation, and he is very similar to Preston. Kendrick Law is an athlete from Shreveport, Louisiana, and according to all my research, he's likely going to play the wide receiver spot, and he is also a top 100 player and very similar to those other 2 guys. The last 2 receivers we need to talk about are first and foremost Aaron Anderson. It seems like all these Alabama receivers are from down south, and this guy is no different as he went to Edna Carr High School in New Orleans and is definitely a little bit undersized, but his talent makes up for it. He's the 35th best player nationally and the number 4 receiver in the nation, and is definitely the highest ranked receiver for this Alabama wide receiver room, but I'm not sure if he will be the best when it's all said and done. Finally, we have another athlete in Antonio Kite. Like the rest of them, he's from Anniston High School in Alabama, and according to 24/7 Sports, he is the number 8 athlete in the nation and the 165th best player in the country, and it looks like he's going to play receiver too. Right now, I'm a little bit unsure what position Isaiah Bond is going to play, but if he does play receiver, he's also a top 52 player in the nation. It is almost insane how loaded they are. When we switch over to the tight end spot, the first guy we need to talk about is Amari Niblack. He went to Lakewood High School in St. Petersburg, Florida, and while he is listed as an athlete, the 6'4" player is likely going to play tight end. He will have some competition in this class though, as he will have to compete with Elijah Brown, who is a borderline 4-star tight end from Dayton, Ohio. He went to Wayne High School, and he is 6'5" and currently ranked 312th in the nation and is a 4-star. Right there are 7 to 8 playmakers who are all 4-star recruits, and Bama will have to replace John Mechie and Jamison Williams, but they have plenty of guys from this class and last year's class who will likely come in and be superstars. To finish out the offensive side of the ball, the Tide only signed 3 offensive linemen, which honestly seems a little bit low, but I'm no expert on the Tide. The guy who really headlines the offensive line is Tyler Booker. At one point he was a top 10 recruit, but seemingly he fell off a little bit towards the end of his recruitment. The guy is a monster from IMG Academy and is ranked as the number 7 offensive tackle and the 57th best player nationally, but we all know Saban's going to get the most out of him, and he's going to be that next first-round lineman from the Tide. So, who are the other two guys they had? The first one is a 4-star recruit from Columbus, Georgia by the name of Elijah Pritchett. He's actually ranked higher than Booker, but in my opinion is not as high profile as Booker. Pritchett is 6'6" and went to Carver High School and is the 5th best offensive tackle in the nation and will likely slide in and start in a couple of years. The last one is a project player. He is one of 3 3-star recruits in the 2022 class, and his name is Dane Shore. He's from Alpharetta, Georgia, and went to Denmark High School, and is currently ranked as the 33rd best offensive tackle and the 392nd best player in the class of 22, and he is 6'6", 300 pounds. Bama would sign 6 total defensive linemen in this class, 2 edge rushers, and 4 interior linemen. Let's first talk about those 2 edge rushers who are definitely super high profile. The first one is Jeremiah Alexander. I remember when he was only ranked as a 4-star player, but over the last year, he has really blown up. Coming out of Thompson High School in Alabama, 6'2" Alexander is now a 5-star recruit, the number 1 edge rusher in the class, and the 17th best player nationally, and maybe he could be the next Dallas Turner or Will Anderson. We'll have to wait and see. The other guy is an edge rusher and teammate of Tyler Booker at IMG by the name of Jahad Campbell. According to 24/7 Sports, he's a 5-star recruit, the number 2 edge rusher, and the 21st best player nationally. And like pretty much every 5-star who goes to Alabama, I definitely think he will have an impact. Switching over to the interior guys, the first one I want to talk about is Curtis Perry. He's from Pike Road, Alabama, and is the most high-profile lineman of the 4. He is the number 11 ranked player at his position, and he will definitely have an impact alongside Jaheim Otis. He's from Columbia, Mississippi, and he is a little bit bigger than Perry. He is 6'4" and 370 pounds compared to Perry, who's 6'2" and 265 pounds. I've read up on Otis, and it seems he's actually pretty underrated, so he may be the best of these 4 players. Getting to the last 2, where the first one is Isaiah Hastings, who went to Clearwater Academy. He is your average 4-star player and is the 31st ranked defensive lineman in the nation. And like a lot of these lower rated signees, they can either blow up and become something, or they transfer and start somewhere else. The last guy we're going to talk about is Walter Bobb. According to 24/7 right now, he's just a hard commit, so maybe something's going on behind the scenes, but he is the lowest ranked of the 4 linemen. He's ranked 300th nationally and is the 39th best player at his position, and if he does in fact decide to go to Bama, he will likely have an impact. Now we got to talk about the other 2 position groups. At the linebacker spot, there's only one dude who they signed. His name, Sean Murphy. Murphy is from Unity Reed High School in Virginia and is the number 6 linebacker in the entire nation. With him being the only signee at that position group, there's definitely going to be a lot of pressure on him, but from what I've researched, he is a really good player and could really see his role flourish in 2023. Getting to the secondary, there are only 3 total players. The first one we're going to talk about is Traquan Fegans. He's another one of those Alabama locals, as he went to Thompson High School in Alabaster, Alabama, and is ranked as the 14th corner in the nation. He is 6'1" and super athletic, and it's just a matter of time before he sees the field. The other 4-star I want to talk about is from Fort Lauderdale, as he went to one of the powerhouse high schools in American Heritage. He is ranked a little bit higher than Fegans, as he's the number 12 corner and the 106th best player nationally, and I'm definitely curious to see how Little will do. Finally, we get to the last player in the 2022 class, and that is Jake Pope. As I said, there are only 3 3-star recruits in this class, and Pope is the 2nd highest ranked of them. He's a safety from Buford, Georgia, and at 6'1", he is ranked as the number 34 safety and the 399th best player nationally. The last guy who I didn't touch on earlier was Danny Lewis, who's a tight end from Westgate High School in Louisiana, and is seen as a project player, as he's ranked 618th in the country, which is definitely below the average Alabama standard and is way below everyone else. We also know they grabbed 3 incredible transfers in Jermaine Burton from Georgia, Jahmyr Gibbs from Georgia Tech, and Eli Ricks from LSU. All 3 of those guys will start from day 1 and could find themselves as first-round draft picks in 2023. The 2022 class is loaded, and I hope this video wasn't too boring, as I know Alabama fans definitely enjoyed it, but it might have been dry to fans of other teams. Either way, you're going to probably hear all these names a lot, as the Tide will probably be a playoff contender and atop the SEC, and these guys will also be in the NFL soon. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.